Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and welcome back to G.I. Joe the Deck Builder Raise the Flag campaign. Last time we finished our very first mission, kind of an introductory thing, getting us familiar with the flag itself, the USS Flagg, which is G.I. Joe's, crowning glory on the open sea with all their vehicles and everything on it. But we also learned that Cobra has their own giant carrier, a helicarrier, one that flies around and everything, and they can attack at any moment from the skies above. We have to be ready in order to defend ourselves against them. They also got a new mechanic in the form of the Cobra transports, which can connect themselves to any of the troopers, any of the generals that pop out. They can go on any Cobra at all, which is just going to make them a lot more difficult in order to deal with. But if we manage to roll the exact number we need in order to defeat them, we gain the transport for ourselves and we can use it once. And that's also an awesome, awesome thing. So we can use these to our advantage and I love it. Now then, we are on the second mission for the scenario, and I actually asked you guys at the end of it for your thoughts and a vote and everything like that about a decision that needs to be made for not only this scenario, but going forward for all the other ones that we're going to be going through. So before we get into that, head on over to the flag and look at that and everything. Why don't we go ahead and take Duke's briefing right now as we go into episode 2, A Crossroads at Sea. I'm not going to lie to you, things are getting worse. After weeks of searching, we haven't heard a peep from Cobra. The trail is colder than a polar bear's toenail. Good news is we have a brand new deck elevator up and running on this ship. It's not much, but it should help give us an edge in the fight. Also, we have some special new recruits on board that should help keep our spirits up. Bad news is I hear that we have a typhoon heading in, and we're smack dab in the middle of its path. Batten down the hatches, we're in for some rough seas ahead. Special setup. Open envelope 2, retrieve story mission cards 1, 2, and 3 only, then read file 10, which we're going to do right now. Pets. Primal Emergency Tactical Squad. While there may be confusion as to the path forward, every Joe knows there's nothing like having a good friend you can count on along for the mission. Especially a friend whose bark is never bigger than his bite. The team welcomes this veteran force with open arms and plenty of treats. PETS, the lovingly crafted acronym for the G.I. Joe's Corps of Animal Companions. While the Primal Emergency Tactical Squad may sound cute, the war-decorated soldiers bearing this elite designation are anything but. Set up. Open envelope 2 and retrieve the 6 pets cards. Each player takes one of their choice and adds it to their starting deck. The remaining pets are returned to the box. If you're playing a shipwreck with Polly, you may choose to forego the additional pet at the start of the game. Pets will be available for the remainder of the campaign. At the start of each episode, each player will choose to add one to their starting deck. Make sure to include them during setup. Return to game. Continuing the briefing, the USS Flagg gets an upgrade. Retrieve the USS Flagg deck elevator tile. The deck elevator tile is double-sided. Choose one of the special and place that tile right side up into the slot on the USS Flagg. Upgrades to the USS Flagg are permanent and will remain in play for all remaining episodes. Story mission setup. Place the 3 story mission cards in a stack in numerical order with 1 at the bottom, then flip the stack face up. Card 1 should be visible as the first mission. Okay, admittingly, that was a lot to go through because I just kind of read it all straight through. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to upgrade our flag. So we're going to head on over to the ship, take a look at that because it's a very impressive piece of, just on the table and checking it out and having that centerpiece whenever you're playing. And then you get to see exactly what it is that you guys voted for and what we are going to have to help us in this next mission. Ta-da! Here we have the flag once again. I actually put some Sky Strikers on here. I think I had them on before, but whatever. We do have the flight deck, which we know we are always able to use before. This is the main ability for the flag, being able to bring in all the transports that when we purchase them immediately go onto the flag. They all trigger and things along that ways. But now we get to go ahead and figure out what one of the 2 deck elevators we want to put on. We have the aerial retrofit, which enables us to add a Sky Striker to the hangar, and the Sky Striker can move from the hangar to the US flag willingly. Normally, when you purchase something, it goes to the flag first, then to the hangar. Here, it starts at the hangar, and whenever it's in the hangar, you can move it right to the flag, which is great because then you're always able to use it. The other one we have is the ground retrofit, where we use the AWE Striker in the hangar, which ultimately is probably a better one, just because of, what is that? Well, who did I use last time? Cover Girl. I'm sorry that I forgot. Cover Girl, because she has ground transport stuff. But because I put it up for the vote for you guys and everything, even though a bunch of you did say the AWE Striker and played your case appropriately from it, the aerial retrofit was the one that ultimately won with like 60% of the votes. And even if I added in the votes from my Patreon and YouTube subscribers, thank you guys so much for participating in this, the aerial retrofit is still going to be the winner. So that is the one that was ultimately chosen. So we slide that in there. We now have the ability to just kind of do that. It's a little janky in terms of how it hangs over, but it's fine. We'll be okay. You get the idea. So what that means is we get to take our Sky Striker right here and immediately put that into the hangar. Now, I do have the AWE Striker as well here. I'm going to shuffle that into the main deck, which again, I've adjusted a little bit for this playthrough. Now that we did that, let's go ahead and open up top secret envelope number 2. Fancy. I'm going to move this out of the way so I have a place to put things. And the first thing we're going to start with are the story missions. Now, this comes out of the envelope pretty much in order. So I have 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8A, 8, because that's a thing that's going to happen. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to keep it in numerical order, and then we can flip it over and then plop that down up here. So that's going to be our starting story mission upon stormy seas, because we heard that a typhoon's coming. Isn't that fun? So we'll know what we have, marksman or stealth, and then I'll just kind of go over that a little bit more once this goes into play. Because right now, remember, it's not in play due to the fact that we haven't really even started yet. In addition to that, we are going into envelope 2 and pulling out the pets. So we have a whole bunch of them over here. I'm going to move over because I'm going to scan all these so you can see them really quickly. First, we have Timber, who is Snake Eye's loyal companion. 2 wilds, assign Timber to a side mission. Timber can start the mission and counts as a Joe. That's amazing. Next, we have Junkyard from Mutt and Junkyard. Assign Junkyard to a group mission, and he does not count against the capacity of the transport, which is awesome. Each Joe in that mission gains +1 wild skill. We have Finback for a deep 6, I believe that is. While in play, +1 wild skill during a ocean mission, which we get a lot of that in the beginning, plus the flag. When used on a mission, which is the ability and everything, you gain +1 hit this mission. And I'll explain all these once I go along. Freedom, there we go. You can always view the top card of your deck. When used on a mission, you may choose to discard the top card of your deck, then draw 1 card. Good cycling. Order, the first time a Cobra card is defeated on your turn, you may destroy 1 card in your discard pile. If this mission fails, you can put a card from your discard pile into your hand. So you see a lot of passes, but then when you use them, that's when they go into your discard pile. And then we have Sandstorm. Activate when recruiting to gain 2 additional recruit points. Look at the top 3 cards of the main deck, choose 1 to buy or discard, then return the remaining cards in any order. Polly technically is a pet, so they could be in this, and we could use them for our characters. But you also have to remember, if you're playing as Shipwreck, Polly will always be within Shipwreck's deck. You can, in fact, give him a second pet, or you can forego it for this situation. So the ones that I'm going to pick, I am going to give Sandstorm to Scarlet, because I've changed my Joes for this. Remember, we have 4 Joes that I'm taking through this entire campaign. Cover Girl, Shipwreck, Scarlet, and Keel-Haul. We've used 2 in the last one, so now we're going to use the other 2 here. So Sandstorm is going to go into Scarlet deck, and Order is going to go into Keel-Haul deck. And I think that's going to be pretty good in terms of like being able to thin out their decks a little bit more, as well as give Scarlet some extra buying power should she need it. Now, keep in mind, the way that pets work is that if you have a pet in your hand, you can play them to your play area, and they stay in play until you trigger them. This is something I didn't quite understand when I was using Polly in the last game. I would just use Polly and then have to put them in reserve and then pull them back and everything. But no, you didn't need to do that. I could have played Polly, and Polly could have stayed in play while I waited to get Shipwreck again in order to activate it. Once you trigger their ability, whether it be assigning cards or something like Finback has a passive on it, but then the little M there is used within a mission, that would be triggering it, stuff like that. Signing them to a mission like Timber. Once something like that happens, that's when they go back into your discard pile, and then you have to cycle through your deck in order to find them again. So they are extremely helpful characters, or characters, friends, companions that you can leave on the field until you need them for a later mission. But finally, before we begin, let us go ahead and talk about not only who it is that we're playing as, but also put up our starting market. Scarlet. Scarlet has 2 martial arts to her. Remember, she is a leader. If Scarlet starts a mission, target player may destroy 1 card in their discard pile. Love it. She's the master at getting through her deck, thinning out her deck, culling out those cards. It's amazing. And then next we have Admiral Keel-Haul, who is one of the 2 new Joes for this campaign. We did Shipwreck. Keel-Haul here has 2 for vehicles, neither of which are really going to help us right now for the story mission. When the USS Flag is on a mission with Keel-Haul, leaders can use their printed text ability. So that means if Scarlet is on the mission with Keel-Haul and they use the flag, I can use Scarlet's printed ability. Remember, it's only for leaders. That's why leaders get a lot of the benefits, including mission critical dice, as I've mentioned before. But then they'd be able to use whatever's printed on it. So with that said, let us do our opening market, see what our top 6 cards here. Now remember, in the last game, I combined a ton of cards into one giant deck here. I had to thin it out in order to be able to say, you just kind of give that same threat of if you go through it, you lose. Out of the discard pile, which was 60 cards in it, I removed 35 of it. And then again, remember, I shuffled back in the AWE Striker into here in order just to kind of see if we can find it again. But for right now, we have all in. Okay, that is ignore the results of a die roll, re-roll all mission dice. Oh, that's fun. Emergency dust off. This is a new one for the flag missions. If you complete this mission with at least double the hits, oh boy, draw 3 cards. That's pretty cool. Rock and roll, recon and marksman. I'm going to need you for the mission, but 6 is a lot to purchase. Sci-fi has, he has marksman as well. Very nice. +1 wild skill for each gear used in the mission. Outback. No gear utility is used. +2 hits, always helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, law and order. See, there's order. Martial arts, if assigned to a precision strike, draw 2 cards. Very nice. Awesome indeed. Good opening. Kind of expensive, but we should be able to get some good opening things for our Joes. And with that said, let's go ahead and get this started. This will most likely be another 3-part episode just because these are very long missions with a lot of stuff happening with them. So if you're just checking this out for the first time or whatever, make sure to check out each one of the parts. Each act will be its own part. If you are a YouTube subscriber or a Patreon member, you got this all ready to go right now so you can watch the entire bit of shenanigans that are going to happen right now within episode 2, mission 2 of Raise the Flag. Also keep in mind there are more cards within Top Secret envelope number 2, so there's still more to discover right now. As is, we have our first round. Let's start buying some cards. Okay, let's do our opening hand right now. So Scarlet is going to go first, and we get Scarlet, which is fun. We got 1 GI, 2 GIs, 3 GIs, and we get Sandstorm. Now remember, I can just throw Sandstorm into the field, and that is good. So we got Order, which is nice. Second Effort, Comms, a GI, and a GI. Not much buying power for Keel-Haul here, but we'll figure it out. So Keel-Haul is going to have I'm just going to remove this from here because we know what it is. It's going to be Scarlet, Keel-Haul, end of round. So starting with Scarlet, we're actually just going to trigger Sandstorm right away. I would play him into the field. He would do his thing. And now what he's going to do is activate when recruiting to gain 2 recruit points. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is really good. I look at the top 3 cards of the main deck, choose one to buy or discard, then return the remaining cards in any order. I feel like that I have 6 to spend. Well, he's still in play, technically. I feel like I have 6 to spend, so it's less than 6, and I can use whatever I have left over for something else. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, flip these over. Lifeline, Dusty, and Sandstorm. That's, yeah, that'd be great. Stealth is something I could use as well. And Hawk. Oh man, Marksman would have been great. I'm off one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm off by 1. I could upgrade Scarlet, but I'm not going to right now. So I think what I'm going to do then is, I know that Hawk is going to be next. I'm going to take Dusty and Sandstorm. I'm going to switch Lifeline. We're going to put Lifeline on top. So we know Lifeline and Hawk are next. Dusty and Sandstorm are going to go into my disc. Oh no, they're going to go on top of my deck because this is G.I. Joe the deck builder, and that's what happens. Use one utility in the lineup as though you played it, then discard this card immediately. The utility remains in the face line. It's interesting. Okay, well, you go here. We've used you. I've used all of that, so that's really it. How much were you? You were 4. I could do all in. Ignore the results of a die, but I don't have anything else that I need to do. No, I'm just going to wait. I think that's fine. With that said, I'm actually going to leave Scarlet here because all I would need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's enough in order to purchase it. So boom, right there. Fantastic. With that said, that is going to be the end of Scarlet's turn. We know that is Dusty and Sandstorm. 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything's all off at everything because of the pets, but that's fine. And then adding Scarlet back in. Buying phase for Keel-Haul. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the comms in order to get rid of all in. It's okay. It's not great. So I'm just going to toss that from the lineup. We're going to replace that with a Lifeline. He has 2, so I'm actually going to give him a service rifle just so he has a little bit more buying power next turn. We will play Order. So Order's in the field, and the first time a Cobra card is defeated on your turn, I can destroy 1 card in my discard pile. We'll take second effort and drop these right here. Okay, so that is the end of his turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Order is in play. We get back second effort, and now we have reached the end of round 1. So there's no story missions in play. There are no card effects. However, the threat meter is just in the starting round. It automatically moves up 1, bloop, and now it'll never get back into the blue. Remember, if this ever gets all the way up to the red, that final spot all the way up there, we immediately lose. Now we start a new round, and with that, a story mission goes into play. Here we go. Story mission, Act 1, Mission 1. Upon stormy seas. Looks like the Joes aren't just up against a typhoon. A storm of Cobra troopers have arrived under the cover of darkness. Time to send these jokers overboard. This is a sea-based mission with 3 complications attached to it. Each player immediately gains 1 Cobra trooper. At the end of each round, add 1 face-down complication to this mission. We only need 4 to succeed this using Marksman or Stealth, that's either or. If we succeed, -1 to the threat gauge and target player draws 2 cards. If we fail, 2 damage to the flag. All right, so let's grab our complications. I've had these all shuffled up already, but we're just going to go again. Remember, there's a bunch of new ones in here as well that we added in from the last, mission 1. So 1, 2, 3 already, just right here. Boom. Now, each player immediately gains a Cobra Trooper. They go into their discard pile. And at the end of each round, they, another complication gets added to that mission. So maybe I might want to just go ahead and fight it now. I mean, I have Scarlet as a leader, which is great. I do have Dusty and Sandstorm, which will add 2 to it, which isn't bad either. Yeah, let's just grab all this and see what we can do. Yeah, I think we may just go ahead and just do it. It's 4. I have what I need right now to attack it. And I don't want to add any more complications than I need to. So we'll go ahead and use the Vamp. With the Vamp in there, we can bring up to 4 Joes. So we know that Scarlet is definitely starting it. Rusty and Sandstorm are going. And she has 1 GI, which she will use. I don't have any more. But Keel-Haul will send one our way as well. Now, with the way this is set up, I'm not using a specialty skill for Scarlet, even though she's a leader. So honestly, all she's going to do is add 1. Dusty and Sandstorm are going to add 2, and then we'll have another 1 and another 2 right here. Use 1 utility in the lineup as though you played it, then discard this card immediately. The utility remains in the lineup. So I think like I could trigger that at any point, but I don't know if I can use that before or after the roll. Not that it matters. There's no utilities in the lineup anyway, so we're just kind of going with this. I do have 1 reroll, possibly could be helpful. I think I have this isn't a side mission. Nope, no, I have 2 rerolls. I got another reroll from Keel-Haul. Okay, good. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and flip our complications. I almost forgot. This could actually be really, really bad. First off, put Dr. Venom into play. Discard 1 Joe from the mission, so that's terrible. And we have a Precision Strike side mission. At the end of your turn, increase the tracker by 1, explosive or tracker. Do I want to just give this to... I'll probably just give this to Scarlet because she didn't have to worry about it this turn. So let's do all that. All right, well, first we're going to go over here. We'll find Dr. Venom. He always seems to come into play, and I don't know why. Leaders cannot be assigned to... It's already been assigned, so it doesn't matter. You cannot attempt a mission against other Cobra officers while Dr. Venom in play. I'll deal with him later, but I've already assigned to the mission, so that doesn't count. It'll be for the next one. And then we're going to go ahead and take this GI from... do I want to take it from... You know what? Doesn't matter. I'll take it from Keel-Haul. It's okay. All right, so we got 4 dice and hopefully be able to get 4. I actually took, I retconned it a little bit. I took the GI that I discarded from Keel-Haul. I put that back into the mission and took 1 from Scarlet and threw it into her discard pile. Because if I need to use Keel-Haul's reroll, I would rather have the ability to. Because if he doesn't have anybody on the mission, he can't use it. All right, okay. Ooh. Okay, so we have 3. Let's first use Scarlet. So we'll use Scarlet's second effort right now. We have that going, so we roll 1 dice, and we got it! We got it! Boom! I only used 1 card, but I did have a second reroll just in case. Okay, fantastic. We got all that done. We've successfully done the first story mission already. Best to kind of get that out of the way. I need recon and tracker here, but I think I'll be a little bit safer on this point. Maybe not, actually. We'll have to see. But this was successful. The meter would go down 1, but it doesn't really matter at that point because it's as low as it can go. Target player will draw 2 cards. In addition to that, I can take this GI, and it was a successful mission, so I'm going to toss that out of the game. So that's gone from Keel-Haul's deck. And then Scarlet can take 1 card from her discard pile and destroy it. These have been used as well. Okay, so these are all right here. I think what I'm going to do for Scarlet is just toss 1 of the GIs. Just get 1 of those. Start thinning out that deck a little bit better. So that's good. They both were able to get rid of a card from their deck, which is nice. Scarlet does have explosives or tracker right over here. We can't do anything about it right now. But we know that recon and tracker are on the next mission. Unfortunately, I only have 3. Law and Order is martial arts, which doesn't really help at all. Sci-fi is tech and marksman, both of which also do not help. Man, I wish I could get rock and roll. That 6 is awesome. I'm going to grab for 3 sci-fi, plop him right there, and see what I can do from there. I'm going to leave the defuse over here because I'm going to pull that back to her hand at the beginning of the next round, or when I draw, because at the very least I can use that in order to get rid of this as a side mission and keep the gauge lower. Because I think the next mission, for our next story mission, is going to be a rough one. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Let's shuffle. I also forgot that I already determined that I was going to give Keel-Haul 2 cards. So he gets a GI and he gets himself. So he has a lot better stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe he'll get rock and roll. Rock and roll might not be a bad thing for him to get then. Because I could use that tracker, or recon, I should say, for the story mission once that goes live. 1, 2. Oh, geez, there's a trooper. Okay, so I can get rid of that. Boom, right there. And diffuse goes on. All right, so that's at least going to help out with bringing down the threat marker, at least, because this is going to probably get rid of this Cobra trooper and this his tank thing on Scarlet's next turn. Keel-Haul's turn. There is no story mission in play. We need to change that. We do have Dr. Venom into play right now, which is going to be a problem. Leaders cannot be assigned to missions. Man, I got to get rid of him at some point, especially if I'm pulling out rock and roll. However, we now have Act 1-2 ready to go. This one is a message appears. The storm is still raging, but someone is sending a clear message. That red symbol looks familiar. Slap 1 complication onto this. Add 2 Cobra battalions to the lineup. Place the burst token 3 spaces above the threat marker. If the threat marker reaches the burst, this mission immediately fails. On a success of 6 using recon and tracker, lower the gauge by 1 and repair any part of the flag. Failure increases the gauge by 2, damages the flag, and adds 2 more Cobra battalions to the lineup. Okay, already starting pretty bad here, because you know how fast this is going to go at the end of the round. So we need those burst symbols. And that's what this is. And it says that we got to place it 3 spaces above. So 1, 2, 3. We know that this is going to move up 2. So I have until like the end of the next round in order to figure out if I'm going to be able to beat this thing or not. 2 Cobra battalions also go onto the market. And remember, if we ever get to the point where we need to add a 6th one to the lineup, we immediately lose. And the way that the campaign works is that if we lose before we finish Act 2, then we have to redo the whole thing over again. And I really don't want to have to do that. That seems terrible. For right now, what we have is, all right, so we have Keel-Haul's turn. The service rifle only works on side missions, and he doesn't have, well, I guess he can go after a Cobra battalion, technically. What do I want to do? I really should get rid of Dr. Venom. So I think what we're going to do is, come on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call in Scarlet for some help here. So we're going to go after Dr. Venom, because leaders cannot be assigned to missions. Man, that's a mission. But what we can do is I can go GI, GI, GI. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then we can bring in Sci-Fi right here, who has a tech number of 2. I don't have to worry about any complications on Dr. Venom at all, but that still will give us 1, 2, 3 dice for each one of these GIs, and then 2 green dice for Sci-Fi. So that's a little bit better. We have 5 dice in order to be able to take him out for 4. And again, with Keel-Haul being here, I do have a second effort as well. This is unfortunately not a side mission, it's a group mission, so I can't use either my service rifle or my diffuse, but Keel-Haul by himself should be able to take out a battalion. So let's take these 5 and roll the best we can. 5 dice with 1 reroll. Let's see what we can do, because I don't have anything else from Scarlet that could help. We got to get like utilities or other things in order to help fight these guys. Oh, don't even need it. Don't even need it. Don't even need it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Booyah! Beat him down. Fantastic. All right, Dr. Venom is gone. Get him out of here. I have a feeling I'll see him quite a number of times going forward. I am not going to retire any one of the GIs from Keel-Haul because I need all of this recruit points in order to be able to get rock and roll into his deck. So those are all used. Sci-Fi goes to Scarlet's discard, and this goes back to the hangar. Okay, so we got a discard right here. We've used all of these, so that's fine. The first time you defeat a Cobra Trooper, you may destroy 1 card in your discard pile. Hey, this Cobra Trooper's in my discard pile. Get out of here, you. You are destroyed. You go back to the lineup. So that's not a triggered ability from order. That is a passive ability. His trigger ability is if I used him on a mission and failed, I put a card from my discard pile into my hand. That would mean that I could take any 1 card from here, put it into my hand, and then this would go into the discard pile should I fail a mission. However, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to take Keel-Haul. We're going to go after one of these Cobra battalions. So he's going to do vehicles. As a leader using a special skill, he does get 2 mission critical dice. The service rifle is going to join him with that, so he will get 1 wild skill. And again, worst case scenario, we have second effort, and the thing hasn't gone up, so diffuse isn't going to do anything. I am going to leave that over here in my reserve, just so I can get it back later. Just to clarify why I'm using the big dice, as I've done before, the way that I play G.I. Joe Mission Critical is if I have a leader class Joe, which actually has the word leader in it, and they're using one of their special skills, Those special skills are what trigger the mission critical dice, which really the only difference between mission critical and the G.I. Joe dice is that instead of another miss, there's a hit. So it's a higher chance of hitting with mission critical dice than it is for the G.I. Joe ones. But again, if I'm not using any of their skills or they're not a leader, it's always going to be the little dice. So with that said, we need a 2 in order to defeat the Cobra Battalion that I decided to hit from the far right. And there we go. Fantastic. Usually we get a really good result from these. That's more than enough than what we need. Perfect, fantastic. This is now removed, so we can get the emergency dust off again if we need to. That was more than double, so he would have been able to draw 3 cards there, which would have been awesome, but that's okay. With that said, I don't need my service rifle or my second effort, but because I can't hold on to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rock and roll will go on top of his deck, replaced with tranquilizer darts. Flip all Cobra officers face down to the end of turn. While face down, they are not in play. I love that card. That card is so amazing. Oh, awesome. Okay. You go here. Haven't used your ability. We know we got rock and roll, which is going to be needed for the mission. That's 4 recon that he's going to use that all have mission critical dice because he is classified as a leader. 3, 4. Ooh, this is nice. 5. Oh, that's fantastic. The fuse comes back. Now we are at the end of the round. Okay, so we're immediately down here. The story mission doesn't put anything at the end. There are no card effects or whatever. The threat meter says that at the end of round, this moves up by 1. And then because it's the end of round, the next thing we do is move it up by 1 again. If this is still here at the end of the next round, we are in trouble because it immediately fails. Scarlet's turn, she's not going to be able to fight this yet. Instead, I'd rather her kind of focus on other things. So at this point, we have a HISS tank right here that we have to figure out. So this Cobra Trooper is also a part of it. I need to get rid of the HISS tank. I have to get rid of the HISS tank because getting rid of that, if I don't get rid of it, then our mission fails. So let's grab these things. And I think we're just going to go ahead and just put the Vamp here. The Vamp versus the HISS tank, which is always fun. I could diffuse it when I need to because it is a side mission. And we do 1, 2, 3 right here. I wish I had a little bit more or something else in order to be able to, I don't know, to just kind of hurt it a little bit more. But I don't want to take a chance right now. I know that Cobra Battalion's up in the lineup, but let's take their 3 dice and at least defeat this. In theory, defeat it, only because we know how these dice sometimes don't. Whoa, I'm getting lucky too soon. Getting lucky too early in this game. It's going to be the mission Act 3 when I need like a huge roll and I'm going to get nothing. But at the very least, we beat it, so that's good. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and diffuse as well, so this will go down 1. That will still trigger at the end of the round, so I got to do that. But the HISS tank has been defeated, so that is out of the deck for right now while we were in mission 2. Nope, not going to return any of these because I need all of the points. Back to the hangar we go. And that's going to really be the end of it. So you're going to go right back to the discard pile for later. I do have 3 that I could spend. Diffuse was also used. Let's grab Law and Order. It's martial arts, but it's fine. It'll be all right. Man, that would have been great if I had him already using for the precision strike, but you know, whatever. Goes to the top. These go right here. And that's going to be the end of her turn. Utility, very nice. Reinforcements, you may gain 2 recruit. If you do, put the next card you recruit this turn into a teammate's hand, into the hand. Oh, that's awesome. So you would gain 2, and then I could possibly throw Hawk into like someone else's hands. Oh, that would be awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have nothing in reserve, so that just kind of is what it is. Moving on now. Keel-Haul. Well, let's just kind of grab everything and see what we want to do in order to take out this mission. Because if we don't take it out right now, again, I'm reiterating it because it's true, we fail. The next one is martial arts. And that's like everything in Scarlet's hand right now. I'm going to hold off on one moment. See what I can do here with Keel-Haul fighting this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trigger the Vamp here. Recon, it doesn't really matter what we use. We can use them both. So we have Rock and Roll for 4 Recon. And those are mission critical dice because he is a leader, which is awesome. I think I'm just going to stick everything with Keel-Haul. This is all he's going to do. 2, 3 right there, and each one of these, GIs gets one of these, and Keel-Haul, because we're not using his specialty, which is vehicles, only gets 1. But that's still great. That's 4 mission critical dice and 3 regular dice, so that's 7 going up against a 6. But as always, the complication could complicate things. And this one happens to be put crystal ball into play. Oh man, these Cobra officers. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Crystal ball. During your recruit phase, either buy the leftmost uncovered card in the lineup or increase the thing by 1. The leftmost right now uncovered is the emergency dust off, which is really not a bad thing to have, but I'd rather purchase other things, but we'll see what we can do. For right now, let's grab all of our dice and try to see what happens as this message appears. We do get 1 reroll as well, and of course I will reroll a mission critical dice as it applies to it regardless. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly. Oh, that could have been bad, but I love them. I love these dice. It's so good. Yes. Okay, fantastic. We have been able to reduce the meter by 1, and we could repair something if we wish. I have 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I'm going to take one of these and retire them just because 5 will do what I need to do for Crystal Ball. I would rather have had Outback. Let me think if I really want to do that or not. But either way, this has been finished. That is success number 2. You know what? I think I will actually buy that emergency dust off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. So, because it gives me 3 buying power, which is crazy. Rather put that there, and then I could take this diffuse and put that here, and maybe next turn, like, push it down even more. Because I have a feeling that Scarlet's not going to be able to buy that far left card. Well, let's see what it is. Oh, it's Zap. I may not even want to. And double the effect of the next gear plate. I don't have any gear at all, so it'll probably go up for a while. But if I can get rid of Crystal Ball early, that'll be fine. That now is the end of his turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that, my friend, ends the round. All right, so back down here we go. This is actually removed because that was part of that one mission. There's something to be said about this campaign as well for failing missions. You'd be surprised what type of benefits you will gain when you fail missions as opposed to just passing them. But I prefer to pass them because I don't like bad things happening. Who does, right? All right, so no cards are in effect. There's no storyline mission in effect. All good. So that's just going to move up 2. And now we're going to go ahead and begin Scarlet's turn. Scarlet's turn is going to put Act 1, Mission 3 into the field, and then it's also going to expose what Act 2 is. This gets wild as we go along, but first things first, let's go ahead and finish up Act 1 with an honorable exchange. Storm Shadow waits for a friendly contest to determine if the Joes are worthy of the information he can provide. No complications are added to this mission. You can use ground-based vehicles, and at the end of each player's turn, that player gains 1 Cobra Trooper. This mission immediately fails if there's ever more than 1 Joe on this mission. So we're probably going to fail it, but should we happen to succeed, we would need 5 successes for martial arts. We would lower the gauge by 1 and read file 2 on a success. Failing is going to put Storm Shadow into play, and we read file 3. Okay, well, that's a fun point right there. So you can only ever bring 1 Joe on a mission for this. It's a one-on-one thing. I think you're supposed to have Snake Eyes to really kind of do it. But fighting this is next to impossible to win with what we have, and I really don't want to keep clogging up our decks with Cobra Troopers. So, for Scarlet's turn, we know that Sandstorm is going to go into play, so we'll just kind of leave him up there with order. This is one where we have to activate him in order to kind of do all the other stuff. So we'll leave him for right now. I have Scarlet has a leader. I have Law and Order, which is not a leader, like none of this is going to work. There's no way. Very, 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 very small chance that Law and Order could actually defeat Storm Shadow within this mission. Let's give it a shot. Let's go ahead and take our vamp. Let's send Law and Order. And at times like this, I wish I had like that whatever that motorcycle is. He's not a leader, so all he gets are 3 regular dice, and that's it. I could roll 5 or 6 using these 3. It is possible. I have done it. I'm not holding my breath on this, but let's see what we get. Because it's either we assign 2 Joes and immediately fail, or assign 1 Joe that might have a chance of beating him and see what happens. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Storm Shadow's apparently not playing around. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Okay, so we get another character in the field, which happens to be Storm Shadow. Assign Storm Shadow to a player as a side mission. At the end of your turn, +2. I'm actually going to give this to Keel-Haul because I have a good idea about what it is I'm going to be able to do with him. So that'll go over there to that side. Poor Law and Order, that doesn't matter. That has been defeated, so that's been used. Vamp goes back. Read file 3, so let's see what that has to say. The choice has been made. The Master Ninja Storm Shadow does not relish his victory. He looks out over a placid ocean and contemplates his next move. Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow is an elite Cobra operative, a rival of Snake Eyes and member of the same Arashikage clan. He is a highly trained ninja assassin with his own set of morals. His work for Cobra, however, is contingent upon their mutual goals aligning, which makes him a volatile but crucial asset. Unfortunately for America's elite heroes, Storm Shadow is unwilling to reveal further details. He cannot entrust information to those who cannot face a real challenge. So, he will leave the decision to fate. The Joes watch as he tosses a golden coin into the air and lets it land in the sand. He pauses for a moment, then hands over a single document before vanishing in a flash of smoke. Setup. Roll a single die. If the results show at least 1 success, read file 4. Otherwise, read file 5. So this right here is going to determine what path we take going forward for mission 2. There's actually 2 different options that could happen, both with 2 different bosses of sorts that we have to go through. I kind of am hoping for a miss, to be honest with you, because I want to see that one more, but hey, we'll see what happens. It's a miss. It's a miss. So we did the miss. We are now reading file 5. Croc Master. The swamp is the perfect place for a reptilian agent of chaos to call his home. And there's not just catfish hiding in these muddy waters. Sometimes you barely see a pair of eyes above the surface before a set of jaws with 1,000 pounds of force comes snapping down. Croc Master. Croc Master is an unhinged eco-terrorist hired by Cobra to provide his own special brand of security detail. A survivalist specializing in guerrilla tactics, he keeps a congregation of viciously trained gators nearby. His favorite, Fiona, is the most fearsome of them all. There's no way to send in a full team into the bayou with the USS FLAGG under repair. Well, the Joes will have to navigate this jungle on their own. Will the Joes be able to avoid the traps laid by Croc Master and scramble this illegal smuggling operation in the Florida Everglades? Or will they become Gator Chow? Setup. Open envelope 3. Retrieve the story mission cards for Act 2 and Act 3, numbered 4 through 9, and place them face down stack with 4 on the bottom, 9 on the top, then flip over the stack. If you've tracked Cobra, return story mission 4 to the envelope. Retrieve the Croc Master Appears complication and shuffle it into the complication deck. Retrieve the Croc Master and Fiona Cobra cards. Add Croc Master to the Cobra officer stack and place Fiona nearby. Log Pursued Croc Master in the campaign log. Croc Master, with Fiona and his Act 2 complication card, will be available for the remainder of the campaign. Make sure to include them during setup. Return to game. All right, well, we still actually have to finish out Scarlet's turn before we officially get into Act 2. There was a lot, again, that happens with this. That's why I love this thing. This campaign is so cool because there's so many things that happen at all times. All right, so because we rolled the miss, which is the 1 in 3 chance, we are now going after Croc Master. And I'll talk about at the end of the campaign, or at the end of the mission, who the other guy would have been that we would have went after, just giving you a name, but I wouldn't say anything else. So, with that said, first and foremost, we did all of this and everything. This is now going to be classified as a loss, so that'll just go down on the bottom over here. Worry about that later. Scarlet still also has 3 cards in her hand. What we are now adding is we are adding Croc Master to our Cobra officers, and Croc Master also has Fiona. I'm just going to leave them together and everything because whenever Croc Master goes into play, Fiona has to go into play as well, so they all go together. Boom, right there. Now, the Croc Master appears card will be shuffled into the complications once we officially start the second. You know, might as well just do that now. So I have all of my level 2 complications right here, plus the level 1s that I have. So why don't I just shuffle all that in right now? Okay, there we go. And as you heard from me reading that, what was that we needed to track? We needed to have written down tracked Cobra or something like that. Because if we had done that, we can actually immediately skip this mission in Act 2. But we didn't do that. So as you can see, having certain things tracked on your log is great to have going forward because you never know when it's going to come out. So our current log, as you can see right here, we actually have 7 wins and 2, losses from the first mission. I incorrectly put 6. Thank you so much for letting me know that, so I can change it. However, now we can log pursued Croc Master in the campaign log, which may or may not come back for something else. And with that said and done, we're going to go over here and continue on with Scarlet's turn. We do have, again, these cards left in her hand. So we have 2 regular Joes and Scarlet herself. We're going to go after that Cobra Battalion. So we have 2 mission critical dice and 2 regular dice. We need 2 in order to defeat it. And there we go. We managed to destroy it, which is awesome. So that's gone off of there. Lifeline is exposed. Hey, starts a mission. Target player destroys 1 card in their discard pile. I'm a target player. Goodbye, you Cobra Trooper. Getting rid of all of the things, which is awesome. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 there. There's really nothing I could... I need to purchase Lifeline in order for Crystal Ball not to trigger, but I think that's going to happen anyway because I don't have enough. I think what I'm going to do is we will, once again, trigger Sandstorm. We'll look at the top 3 cards. 2, 3. So we have Doc, which I can't afford. So we have 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cover Girl, I can't afford either. The Mean Dog, we can. If you complete this mission with at least double the hit points needed, discard 1 precision strike from play. There is currently none in play, but at least the Mean Dog can go into onto the ship. Doc, if this mission fails, you may remove Doc from the game to make it a success. Ooh, this ability cannot be used against the Act 3 finale. Wow, Tech and Recon, that is awesome. But he is an 8 and Cover Girl is a 7, so we're going to go ahead. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with the Mean Dog because I can choose to buy or discard, so I'm actually just going to discard this. And so then with that said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I've gained 2. We'll grab Lifelines. This way, Crystal Ball does not trigger. We'll put Cover Girl down, and that's going to be... I could have upgraded Scarlet, but I'm going to hold off until Crystal Ball is defeated. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to start calming out some of these things. Okay. 5. All right, so we got a GI there as well. Now, that's all said and done. Storm Shadow is going to be terrible. Oh my God, I have to defeat Storm Shadow. So let us move on down right now. What am I going to do? There's really not much here at all.